Everybody, today is going to be a real quick historical video. I'm standing here on the Gettysburg battlefield, and behind me is the Virginia Civil War monument. It got Robert E. Lee there at the top of it, and right behind where I'm standing here in front of me is where Pickett's charge happened. That's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit today. Pickett's charge was on day 3, July 3rd, 1863. This was the third day of the battle, and this was the Confederates' attempt at taking out the Union line across the battlefield here. I'm going to show you the view here. It's a beautiful setting. A beautiful setting to a horrific thing that happened out here. This was a failed attempt by Robert E. Lee. Standing right behind me, this tree line over here was where the Confederacy was positioned. They were positioned all along this road here. Well, this road wasn't here during the war, of course. And this is where General Longstreet stood, right here in this position. It's amazing to think about. General Longstreet was basically Robert E. Lee's right-hand man after Stonewall Jackson went down. And he wasn't too happy about them doing this charge because the Union Army had the high ground. And Robert E. Lee should have known during that time, being a military man and a West Point man, he knew that high ground was always the advantage in military action. So it was a failed attempt. They even overshot their targets. The bombardment was so loud they could hear it for miles around here when the Confederate artillery was firing in this location, from this location towards that direction. And they were trying to soften the Union line over there before they sent the infantry guys in, and it never really worked because they overshot their target, and it was a failed attempt at that point. We are going to take a walk out. They have a little trail that runs out into the field. This is also the area where Robert E. Lee consoled his men after the battle here, after they had lost and pretty much was dismantled. Half their men was gone, I believe. But yeah, we're going to take a walk out there. This is where he consoled the troops, and this is where it all started at too. So we're going to go out there and check this out and just take a little walk. All right, thanks for coming along today, guys. This will be a little fun walk. There's an information board that kind of tells about what happened here before we take a walk. You guys can pause this, read some of that. Just basically says at 1 o'clock on July 3rd, 150 Confederate cannon opened fire on Cemetery Ridge and Cemetery Hill, 1 mile to your front. The Federal artillery responded, and it was pretty loud. It was a prelude to the Confederate assault known as Pickett's charge. It lasted 2 hours. You can read that, pause it. We got a nice drawing here. We got Longstreet on the horse, Pickett, and the men there on the horses getting ready to go across this field here. Here we got the picket fence. They kind of give you an idea. This is supposed to be close to the location. And there's a lot of noise going on back in the woods today, and that is the squirrels. Listen for a minute. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they're back there making a lot of noise. Kind of freaked me out at first. I didn't really know what was going on. I want to take a walk out here onto the field itself. Okay, let's go check it out. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm just walking the trail here. They got a nice paved trail here. You can walk out here to the middle of the battlefield here. Well, it's almost the middle of it, not quite. This is the exact area where Pickett's charge happened. As I walk here, I just think about the intense fighting here, the passion that was going on. You can almost feel it. It's almost just in the air. I'll give you an idea of where we were just up there. Confederate lines were all along here. You got your artillery position there. All this happened in this field. All the cannons going off. You had Confederate lines here too. They got some cannons positioned out here. We're going to take a look at that. And they were trying to make their way that way. I think a few hundred Confederate soldiers actually made it to the Union line over there. They were pretty much hand-to-hand combat at that point, and that lasted maybe 45 minutes to an hour, I believe. and they never did take that location. Like I said, they fired on this spot for an hour, the bombardment, and I guess you could hear as far as Harrisburg, which is like an hour north of here. So it was a pretty big engagement, but the bombardment didn't do the damage that Lee was hoping for. So yeah, it's just amazing to think we're pretty much right here where it happened. They got some cannons positioned out here. I don't really know what that is. That's interesting. They have a little another information board here. I thought my men were invincible, Robert E. Lee said. Confederate General Robert E. Lee gambled and lost. Pickett's charge on July 3rd, a decisive defeat, ended 3 days of fighting. Total casualties was 51,000, 23,000 Union and 28,000 Confederate. It devastated both sides. Lee prepared for a Union attack on July 4th, but nobody came. Casualties were high, supplies and ammunition low, so Lee's army retreated back to Virginia. During that time, it talks about it here, the rain was bad during that time. And when they finally got down to Williamsport, Virginia, at the time, or Williamsport, Maryland, I'm sorry. At the time, across the Potomac there, that was Virginia, because West Virginia hadn't became a state yet. And they were trying to get to Williamsport, Maryland as fast as possible. That retreat was horrible. They had small battles that broke out during that time. But it was really bad rains coming down. They had injured troops. You can imagine the horrific picture that would have looked like. So some say that the Confederate line train that was coming down the roads were 40 miles long. It was insane. Trying to get back to Virginia, basically. We got some cannons that are positioned here. I like these when they don't paint them. This is basically just an authentic brass cannon, and that turns green over time from the rain and the weather. Let's see if it even has, sometimes there'll be a date and a name on it. You can tell this one's had definite action. You can see where the artillery shells would have came through there. So yeah, and I think we might, I don't know if I can get across here or not. I was going to check out, I'll just stay here. There's some more cannons that are positioned right here, basically trying to take that location. This is where the bombardment happened. I'm pretty sure there was more cannons than just what's out here, because it was such a big operation. But we're going to take a walk out through here just a little bit, just to give you a perspective of what they were walking here. So they would have been literally going right through this field. I'm not gonna go any further, but that just gives you an idea. They were heading due northeast, I believe. So beautiful out here today. Just a real quick video. Like I said in some of my other videos, I plan on doing more of these historical videos periodically. It's not going to be just Gettysburg. I'm going to be doing many other locations that have to do with military history or whatever, you know, here in the US. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to head back to the car. It's getting dark and got to get home. We'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody take care out there and enjoy your day. Take care. Monument they have here where Pickett's charge happened. This is the Virginia monument. They got Robert E. Lee up there on the horse, and then they got the infantry guys here. Really nice monument. It's pretty cool. That's a neat shot with the where the streams, smoke in the sky from the airplanes. But yeah, this is the monument that's here for the Virginia infantry guys. All right.